What's up, gamers? Hope you guys are all having a great day today, just full of so much positivity and happiness, dude, because I can finally say, and it makes me very happy to do so, that we finally got some good news surrounding 343 and Halo Infinite. Now, in case you haven't heard, the head of 343 Industries, Bonnie Ross, has been fired by Microsoft. Well, that's not what they're saying, but we all know that's what actually happened. Bonnie Ross is gone from 343. They're saying it's because she stepped down for family health reasons, which we all know that's not true. This happens all the time in corporate America. Whenever a big executive or whatever screws up really bad and they get fired, they let them resign versus, you know, getting fired to save face and not ruin their reputation more than it already has been. I mean, the same thing happened with the head of Blizzard a couple months back when Activision got rid of him. You know, they let him resign versus get fired. So this happens all the time in the video game industry and almost any industry you can think of. It's kind of a courtesy that they extend to higher ranking people within an industry so they can maybe bounce back and go get a job working somewhere else. But we all know the Microsoft candor. Like, nobody's really going to step down from a job like this, and let's face it, dude, like, the timing is absolutely impeccable because considering the amount of backlash Halo Infinite's been getting recently over the newly announced roadmap, it's not really a surprise in my opinion. If anything, it's more of a surprise that it took Phil Spencer this long to get rid of her, because I don't know what the fuck people over at 343 have been doing, but it hasn't been developing that game. And like I've always said from the beginning, especially when we talk about this in live streams, like, I put all the blame on Halo Infinite on the leadership, because at the end of the day, your day-to-day developers are just people that are there showing up for their 9-to-5 job. They do what they're told to by their management, and then they go home and live their life. Like, these are not the people calling the shots. The sole fault with this game lies with the way it was managed, or the better way to put it is mismanaged, because that's exactly what happened. Like, I have never seen such poor post-launch support for any AAA multiplayer title out there on the market. Like, even Battlefield 2042 at this point has made a better recovery than Halo Infinite has, and Battlefield 2042 is a full-priced video game. Like, go look at the player count right now on Steam. More people are playing Battlefield 2042 at any time of day than people are playing Halo Infinite. And if you don't see that as a problem, considering Halo Infinite is a free-to-play game, then I really don't know what to tell you. And this game has been absolutely butchered in its handling up to release and after release too. Like, Halo literally sits on one of the biggest content repositories in all of first-person shooter and gaming history. Like, there are hundreds of maps they could literally pull from previous Halo games and import into Halo Infinite. There's not one classic map in that game. Game modes that would take probably someone 3 minutes to make and forge are still missing from multiplayer on Halo Infinite. Like, it's just absolutely incredible the amount of low-effort content that's missing from this game that literally could be added in a fucking hour by someone who doesn't even work at the company. And if nobody else sees a problem with that, I don't really know what to tell you. 343, because of the management, which was led by Bonnie Ross, was able to ruin Halo Infinite, which was supposed to be their biggest Halo game to date, a game that was supposed to basically have the sky as its limit, because it was going to be the first Halo multiplayer that was free to play, which, if done right, would have really accelerated the franchise back into the mainstream, because Halo has been on a steady decline. But they just completely screwed this up at every single opportunity, and it just begged the question, like, what is even going on at 343? Like, what are they doing all day that literally they're putting out nothing? Because you have like 9-month spreads between new maps being added. Like, what is happening at this company? What are people doing day to day? And that solely lies with the management. Like, I always kind of joked around and said the only people on planet Earth that could literally do the worst job possible and literally sit around doing nothing all day and still get paid are either 343 employees or Congress.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
But even then, Congress is giving 343 a run for its money at this point. So I'm genuinely not surprised that she got canned. I'm just surprised it took this long, honestly. Like, I've been saying it almost since the game came out that the leadership at 343 needed to get canned. Heads needed to start rolling at the company because Microsoft was setting an extremely bad precedent. They're basically saying, like, hey, game studios under us, you can literally do absolutely nothing and ruin multi-billion-dollar franchises, and you can keep your job. Because, I mean, let's face it, bro, Microsoft has not not been putting out quality stuff recently. Their studios are basically MIA in most cases. Like, what the fuck has Microsoft put out consistently other than Forza games? Like, that's literally it. Aside from that, their studios either have been working on stuff for years at this point with not a fucking peep, or the games come out and they're a complete fucking dumpster fire. So I'm glad to see that Microsoft is at least setting some sort of precedent here that if you shovel out dog shit, you know, you get kicked to the curb right with it. So I don't know, man. I don't want to be too optimistic about this because Halo Infinite still has a very, very, very long way to go until it's even close to even the standard of a typical Halo game at release, much less a game that came out almost a year ago at this point. So I don't know how to really feel about this. I think overall it's good. New leadership is definitely a necessity because if things continued as they were, like, this franchise is gonna fucking die. I mean, Halo's probably had like irreversible damage done to it already, especially considering this was the big comeback game and it completely fucking flopped. But I don't know, dude. I'm hoping maybe the new leadership will realize, oh shit, you know, our jobs are on the line too. We better kick it into fucking gear and fix this game. So maybe it'll be a net positive. I don't know, but I wanted to go ahead and take a look at this article real quick covering this entire situation. So the title of this article is Halo lead Bonnie Ross is leaving 343 Industries and Xbox. And it says industry and Microsoft veteran Bonnie Ross is announcing her retirement today with an intent to focus on family as 343 Industries moves to restructure its leadership roles. Interesting, man, because like if everybody's saying, oh, this is just because she wants to leave because of a medical emergency, why are they restructuring leadership roles? Like it's way too convenient. But anyway, let's keep going. Bonnie Ross worked within Microsoft's games business for the best part of 3 decades, working on franchises like Gears of War, Alan Wake, and even third-party publishing deals like Jade Empire and Mass Effect. Most famously, she took the reins at 343 Industries after pitching her vision for Halo against a Microsoft corporate climate that felt as though the franchise was in a decline. I don't know, but I guess Microsoft was kind of right about that one. Under 343 Industries, Ross and her team collaborated to ship several acclaimed Halo products, including Halo 3 ODST. She didn't have any part of the development of that. Halo Reach, she didn't have any part of the development of that. Halo Anniversary, 343 did do that one. Halo Spartan Assault and Strike, oh my god, and Halo Wars 2, 343 did not develop that. Notice how Halo 4, 5, and Infinite are missing from the quote-unquote critically acclaimed games there. And I'm not even trying to be a hater. I actually enjoyed the multiplayer for Halo 4 and 5. Like, I'm not this big ass, like, oh my god, dude, I hate 343 Industries with a passion, Bungie supremacy forever. Like, personally, Halo 5 is my favorite Halo multiplayer, so take that as you will. I was fully expecting to love Halo Infinite because I loved Halo 5 so much, so I was expecting 343 to basically do more of that, but yeah, I had to take a big fucking L on that one. Bonnie Ross's 343 Industries built Halo Master Chief Collection, which ambitiously ported several Halo games into a single property, which took 4 years to actually function properly. The task was gargantuan and launched in less than a polished state, but subsequent years of investment has made it into a truly stellar title. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Halo Infinite launched with the series' highest Metacritic score to date, but its live service has left fans clamoring for faster content delivery. So in case you guys needed any more proof that Metacritic scores from critics in particular mean absolutely fucking nothing, take that as you will, bro. Halo Infinite is the highest rated Halo game by critics in the entire franchise. Higher than Halo 3, keep in mind. Halo Infinite, yeah, critic scores mean absolutely fucking nothing. To that end, Microsoft also announced the leadership team is undergoing something of a restructure, splitting Bonnie Ross's role into 3 parts to better serve the franchise's growing footprint. Yeah, I think that shit is shrinking like a motherfucker, which now includes a TV show and other cross-media projects. What does that have to do with game development exactly? Like, leave Steven Spielberg to do his own shit. Studio veteran and production lead Pierre Hintze, I don't know if I'm saying that right, will become studio head of 343 effective immediately, leading the studio's ongoing development of Halo Infinite and the Master Chief Collection, as well as future games. The senior leadership team will expand with new roles, including Brian Koski, who will become GM of franchise, and Elizabeth Van Wyck, who will oversee business and operation. Bonnie Ross noted on her Twitter feed that she hoped to stay with 343 Industries to complete the update launch, but a family medical issue has brought forward her plans. So right there, she was already planning on leaving the company as it was, just not exactly at this time, at the end of the year, probably so she could still get her bonus. I mean, this is what happens in corporate America, okay? If you guys are not familiar with it, instead of getting fired, top-level executives almost always get the option to resign of their own accord accord, quote unquote, versus getting fired because it lets them save face a little bit and maybe rebound and go to a different company. Like, for example, when Activision got rid of the CEO of Blizzard, or president of Blizzard, whatever his title was, over the sexual assault bullshit, like, he was allowed to resign. They didn't actually fire him. He stepped down from his role. And I guarantee you, the board told him, you're out. You can either resign or we'll publicly fire you. He probably chose to resign of his own accord, and that was it. I think the same thing is happening here with Bonnie Ross. She was probably told by Microsoft leadership, you're out. You know, you have until the end of the year, then you have to leave. And with that recent disastrous announcement of the new Halo roadmap, those plans probably got accelerated by Microsoft and said, all right, it's time for you to go now. And yeah, cue the excuse we see on Twitter, which, you know, it may be 100% legitimate. I'm not trying to say like, oh, she's bullshitting or whatever for the reason, but there is a thing called a leave of absence, which means you don't have to quit your job. So again, I think the timing of this is a little too convenient for it to be a coincidence. But anyway, this is what her statement is on Twitter. It says, while I had hoped to stay with Halo until we release the winter update, I'm letting you know I will be leaving 343 and attending to a family medical issue. I'm incredibly proud of the work everyone at 343 Industries has done with Halo Infinite, the Master Chief Collection, the Halo television series, I wouldn't really be proud of that, and so much more. It's been an honor to serve alongside the team for the last 15 years and to be part of a universe that I love. Thank you to everyone in the Halo community for your support. Halo's future is bright. I cannot wait for you all to experience what we have in store and to cheer alongside you as a fan at the Halo World Championship in October. Axios, Bonnie Ross. So again, I'm not trying to like say like she doesn't have like an actual family emergency or whatever. Like that could be perfectly legitimate. I'm just saying the timing is a little too good to be 100% true. I think there's a lot of factors at play here. I think Microsoft kind of just gave her the nudge out and said, all right, you can resign of your own accord, or, you know, we're going to fire you. And I think this is the best way to kind of like save her reputation in the industry, because she did basically single-handedly ruin one of the most beloved gaming franchises in all of first-person shooter history, and probably fumbled the biggest bag ever in the history of the Halo franchise as well. Like, Halo Infinite was probably supposed to make billions of dollars in microtransactions revenue because it was a free-to-play game on PC and console for the first time ever, and well, that bag was completely fumbled from the very beginning, and it turned out to be a complete disaster. I'm honestly surprised she lasted this long. But like I said, guys, I'm not like this big 343 hater. I actually really enjoyed Halo 4 and 5, so again, I was fully expecting to love Halo Infinite, because if it was just more of the same that we got with those two games, like, I knew what to expect with the 343 Halo game. I'm not one of those people who hates 343 Halo games by default, so I was actually fully expecting to like it, but the complete lack of support post-launch, the lack of content, just the complete and total hands-off approach they took with this game just really turned me off, and I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to play it. You know, maybe I'll play it tonight on stream, actually, saying that just for the lulz, but I don't know, dude. I'm not like this big anti-343 person. I'm not this big Bungie dick rider. In fact, I didn't really even like Halo 1 or 2 that much. Like, I like the multiplayer for Halo 2 and Halo 2 Anniversary, but Halo 3 is really the only Bungie Halo that I would say that I love, so I'm not like this anti-343 person, but the way they handle Halo Infinite is a complete and total fucking disgrace to a franchise that personally I really enjoy, so I am really glad to see some new leadership at 343, because it's definitely something that was needed. I don't think anyone can deny that. I just hope the people that they picked are the right people for the job and they can turn this shit around, and maybe, you know, Microsoft has lit the fire under their ass by getting rid of like the top person at 343. Maybe now everybody's questioning whether or not they're gonna have a job tomorrow if they don't perform. So hopefully 343 can turn this shit around, and hopefully Halo Infinite will become eventually a fun game to play, because I would like nothing more to enjoy Halo Infinite and have fun playing the game, but in its current state right now, that's just not something I'm able to do, man. So I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on it. I would greatly appreciate it, and as always, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video, and for all the recent support as well. You guys are the fucking best, and I really do appreciate it. So with that said, I will catch you guys next time.